that you've made in your real life, off stage?
I'm not sure. I'd have to think about that and get back to you, because I don't really have something spur of the moment. I'm sorry, I apologize. I don't really have an answer for that.
So is your life happier the last 10 years that you've created this comedy career, or has it had no impact on your level of happiness, or has it diminished it?
You know, everything leads to something else, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a yes-no question. I think it's like, because I went into comedy, right? I went onto MySpace, for instance, right? And because I went onto MySpace to promote my comedy career, it like took off in a whole different direction, and I became like the rabbi for everybody, right? And because of that, I got to meet some really great people who are now in my life, you know, who've been in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, on the one hand, you know, it's depressing because I realize that no matter how, there's two reasons why it's depressing. One is I realize, like I mentioned before, like I realize that no matter how funny I am and how many blow away a room, it doesn't solve the problem. And the other part is depressing is because I can't take it to the next level. And that's because I can't get my own TV show. And that's because Jews run Hollywood. And what kind of Jews? Ashkenazi Jews that are from America. They run Hollywood, they don't get me, they're embarrassed by me, and they'll never let me have my own show. So I can't take this to the next level. I can't make, like, you know, a ton of money and a huge parnasa from comedy. And if Catholics ran Hollywood, I would have my own TV show right now. You understand that? They wouldn't give the shows to Conan O'Brien or to... They'd give it to me. They would give it to me because they love me and they think I'm funny, and it would be great. But they don't, because they don't have power. There's too many Jews in decision-making positions in Hollywood that have stymied my career, and they've cut my legs out from under me. I'm blackballed because there's a Jew in every network. There's a Jews in HBO and Showtime, whatever. I can't get a show. They're never going to give me a show. I'm done, right? So that's depressing. But at least I found out. Like I said, you know, I have to find out what would be if I went into comedy. I don't want to die and I didn't know, like, what could have been. And now I know nothing can come from it. You know, I can't get a career out of it. You know what I'm saying? Unless someone can come up with a way, you know, like I could perform on the internet or something, you know, and everybody would pay millions of dollars or whatever. I don't know. So there's that. So that's depressing, right? But at the same time, like I said, you know, indirectly from it all, I've met people who, like, are important to me, and, you know, that only came because, like, I went onto MySpace, and that's where everybody met me. Most people met me through MySpace, or, you know, in my life. Some people, like, lately from Facebook, but most of the people that I'm friends with, whatever, are from MySpace.
What things in common have all the women you've ever loved had?
Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm gonna get in trouble now. They're all misfits. They're all misfits. That's number one. I have noticed that there's some patterns. Boy, I'm gonna get in real trouble for this. Okay, here we go. There's some patterns in them. I noticed that I tend to attract women, believe it or not, who were into the Grateful Dead. They're sort of like hippie chicks, okay? And they were into the Grateful Dead, or who are into the Grateful Dead, and or into Fish, doesn't matter. One of these kind of groups. They tend to be okay with extreme age differences. So it doesn't matter how old they are right now, they'd still be interested. It doesn't matter. They tend to, they will tell me like a lot of things, and one of the things I will hear is that they don't wear underwear. They don't wear panties, and
well, a lot of women say that to rabbis.
Yeah, I hear that all the time. And another thing that I will hear is that they either had lesbian experiences or want to pursue lesbian experiences. And this is the kind of woman, and it doesn't matter, if she's from whatever. This is the kind of woman that attracts to me.
Right.
These are the kind of women that I've gone out with. This is like I started, and the problem with them is the following. You ready? There's another thing they all have in common. I call them the Grateful Dead chicks. Grateful Dead chicks love Rabbs. I'm a magnet for them. And here's the problem. They won't go the distance. They will not marry me. They like me, but they will never commit to marrying me. So they're useless. I mean, why am I going to waste my time with them? So one of the things I used to do is I used to weed them out. If a woman came on to me, if I was interested in a woman, I would say, hey, what kind of music are you into? And if she would say the Grateful Dead, I said, that's not good. Like when I got engaged, I actually asked my fiance, my Kala, early on. I said, do you like Grateful Dead? And she was going like, not really. Why? I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God. Right? So now I want to say something about her. She's not a Grateful Dead chick, and she doesn't have any of those things in common with the others. And that's why I really thought we were going to go to the distance. But then it wasn't meant to be. Unfortunately, because her mom killed the whole thing. And I can't even talk about that. I mean, it's just, her mom just is just...
Not a big Rabbi Rabbs fan?
Not a big Rabbi Rabbs fan at all.
How could that be? Why doesn't everyone love Rabbi Rabbs?
That's what her daughter said. Her mom is screwed up in the head. Her mom is like...